Hi, I'm Jeff Foxworthy, and welcome to Gamekeeper Podcast. If you want to learn more about farming for wildlife and habitat management, then, buddy, you are in the right place. Join the Gamekeeper crew direct from Mossy Oak Land Enhancement Studio as they discuss the latest wildlife and habitat management practices, news, and, of course, hunting. There's no telling what you'll learn, but I'm going to tell you, I bet it's interesting. Enjoy.
We're live in 3, 2, 1.
All right, everybody.
It rained, Bobby.
It finally did, but not as much as I
I'll
hoped,
take it.
We'll take it.
This was like survival.
It really was.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
the
this wasn't
first
like-
moisture we've had in October,
Yeah.
and for the most part September as well.
Soaked it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're supposed to get 3 to 4 inches on average every October in our part of the state.
I think
And they got like maybe, and it's only in a band if you go below here much. Like
they got some.
We got maybe 3/4 or so in town. I think an inch north of town, and Laney's big project up there, an inch maybe. Bobby's, as a crow flies, maybe 30 miles east of here.
Didn't get
0.1 inch.
0.17.
Oh, excuse me.
0.17.
That's pitiful.
So last night I was thinking about this rain.
We got a bunch in Alabama though. We got lucky. They got one band that came through Sumter County.
How many gallons of water do you think it takes for 1 acre to get 1 inch of rain?
Everybody that's driving around with a fire truck with water in it, you're wasting your time.
It's funny you said it because that's what I was going. I was like,
No,
how
that's
many
not true,
gallons?
Gutty. You can keep your garden alive fine with that fire truck.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah. So how many gallons would it take to?
Already know.
I know you
I've
know.
done it before.
Yeah, he knows.
1 inch of water
One
on
inch
1
of
acre.
water on 1 acre.
I don't know.
What do you think, Dudley?
I used to know something with 43,560 and
That's
1
the
inch.
number of
and-
square. Oh yeah.
What is it?
Mac, anybody want to guess?
I got it.
Okay, just tell them.
I already know. Well, I'd say this. My number was half an inch. What could make a big difference. Takes like 13,000 and something gallons.
27,000 gallons of water to get 1 inch of rain on 1 acre.
That's right.
27,000 gallons.
Yep. So the only halfway decent practical one I've ever heard of, and it was to just save a small plot or two. Mark Drury had a 2,700 gallon mother tank thing with a pump. He could pull up to a pond, pump the water in, and go spray it on a food plot. But he would make multiple trips. But it was that was still.
That'd be 10 trips just to water.
That was not practical, but it was like survival mode from a severe drought, and they had a couple of green food plots that they saved back then. But to think about, to Dudley's comment about the fire
It's
truck.
a lot of water.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot more than
It's
you
a
think.
lot of water than you think it is.
And think about what that weighs, because a gallon of water
8
weighs
pounds.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's a lot. Interesting.
All right.
So we're glad we got some rain.
Thank
Yes.
you for all that knowledge you just threw on us there. That was great.
You know, when you
What have you been doing lately? I hadn't seen you lately.
I have been
Farming for wildlife.
Yeah, working. When it rains once a year, you got to get everything in right before it does.
Did you have any help?
Richie showed up right when the work was over with and did some filming, so that was good. But I was lucky.
Good job, Richie.
Our local county soil and water service has a seed drill that you can rent. So we
reasonably too.
$5 an acre. That's what it costs to rent. So
Go buy one. That's reasonable.
That's super reasonable. So so we were out there. The biggest mistake I made was I didn't realize I had to load the seed up a ladder into the hopper of the seed drill.
That's when you need 2 people, because one can set them up there for you, and you can stay
And
up
I had
there.
a super sack.
Yeah,
So I
those
had a
super sacks
I had a
are-
5-gallon bucket. Won't make that mistake again.
No,
That's a good
you got a
workout.
workout.
Oh yeah, I'm good.
That was a workout.
I mean, you'd be lifting 50-pound bags and cutting them open anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you set 50-pound bags up there all the way
And then
across
cut-
it.
and then cut 'em.
Then you climb up there and cut them, and it's not quite so
So
bad.
maybe
I
the
gotta
bags are worth the extra expense.
Yeah. I picked one bucket up the ladder, done.
No question.
CrossFit.
But we got it done.
One thing I want to say, there was a spot where I prepared yesterday. I burned and all, but I left it maybe 3 times the size of this room, maybe. And when I got up to it, when I was disking, it was, wait a minute, there's bare dirt showing, not a bunch of grass and all. Wow, there's like one little clover here, a foot away, one little clover there. I said, I'm just going to leave that patch. It's got I can't believe in this drought, or non-typical. It's still alive. So what I was going to say, I was trying to plant this spot. And it was pretty good for me. It's probably 6 acres. That's a big
That's
clover
a big
bed.
one.
Yeah. And so I got it prepped, burned it off. It was beautiful. And so I'm planting, and it starts pouring rain before I even get through. Y'all saw me. I looked like a drowned rat when I got here yesterday. But when I went back through, it's crazy. It had been maybe 30 minutes, and there was over twice as much clover showing. It just popped up.
Oh, that's wild.
It's amazing. It's got all that root system because that stuff's been there for like 4 years. It was crazy how much it was just starting to cover itself with clover. I can't wait to look at it today and one day and see the difference. This time of year, that clover will just explode when it gets moisture.
Did you reseed clover?
Oh, I replanted the whole thing. And I did. I won't talk about the varieties, but I tested a few.
Yeah, we're testing some. I tested
2 to 3 different types of clovers together and see how they co-perform.
So look, let's talk. I love to hit the blood on the biologic every week. And I'll start this thing out. There was a deer killed here in Mississippi, a guy named David Payne. It was as big an 8-point as you ever see.
Oh, I think I saw a picture of that one.
Beautiful deers. I want to say congratulations to him.
Where was that? Oh, do you know where it was?
Somewhere in Mississippi. I mean, he's kind of like me.
Drop me a pin, bro.
You're not going to tell exactly where that thing is.
You know, it's funny about how people go nuts over the huge deer killed and everybody's trying to steal the leash from them and trying to sneak on the property and whatever. And I've always said, hey, dude, the deer's dead.
That's right.
Find another spot to do it.
He gone.
Yeah.
So is that what it is? Who is that up there?
Wow.
No, that's Dudley. You going?
That is Reagan Davis.
That is a beautiful deer.
That's
Yeah.
a real
really is a
deer.
big
Really nice, mature 8-point.
That's a
But
real 8.
that's South Georgia.
Nice.
You know, so
They grow some big deer down there. Lanny, you had some.
I do. I got a special one. Cash Watson. He is actually, I guess he would technically be my cousin.
he's been on here before.
He has. This is not his first appearance. This is one determined child for sure. But he harvested his first deer with a bow on Max Club, actually. So it's great.
I'm excited. We got a lot of does to shoot.
It's important to note he has a broken leg.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, he broke his leg playing football. Has had a full cast on. Is one of the most determined kids I've ever seen in my life, and even he couldn't play football, so he determined he was going to get his first deer with a bow.
Wow.
Long bow. I mean, not a crossbow, but a compound bow.
Wow.
And
vertical bows.
yeah, vertical bow.
Vert bow.
Yeah,
Okay, I got you. That's a vertical bow.
Yeah.
So,
Is there any other kind?
Nah, I don't guess so.
Well, Dudley just likes a crossbow.
Yeah. Dudley likes
Whatever.
That's okay.
But anyways, congratulations to Cash. That's a big deal for sure.
Hey guys, listen up. Let me tell you about an awesome deal Springfield Armory is offering now through the end of 2024. When you purchase a brand new model 2020 Waypoint or Redline rifle, you'll receive a model 2020 Rimfire rifle with a black synthetic stock absolutely free. That's an over $400 value on the house. You know we love Springfield Armory and their top-notch products you'd be proud to hand down to your kids and grandkids. So why wait? Learn more about this incredible offer at GearUp2024.com. Springfield Armory. Defend your legacy.
All right, so guys, there was one other blood in the biologic that I was planning on mentioning, and the more I kind of drilled into this, I said, no, we need to call this guy and have him as a guest, and it's Tommy Allen.
Can we get the horns?
He killed a giant deer.
There's some zip codes not this high. The 216.
Yeah, that's a giant deer for sure.
At 216 inches. And so we've got him. Through the magic of the internet, folks, we have Tommy Allen from Ohio.
I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys having me on the show tonight.
Glad to have you.
Look, when we look at this image, we see you. There's so much we like. The deer, obviously is incredible.
Bottomland's
You're
cool.
wearing Bottomland.
I mean, you can't beat Bottomland.
It just makes me want. I want to hear more. Tell us what.
Can
part
you
of
tell
Ohio?
Bobby gets out of breath like big deer?
216 inches. Yeah. Is that what this thing grosses?
Yeah, it's gross 216. I haven't yet got the time to take it up to Toby Hughes to get it scored by him yet, but I'm trying to get everything in line so I can take it up to him and get it officially scored. I got to wait the 60 days to actually get it scored by Boone and Crockett to see what it ends up. The 216 is just what we come up with.
Kind of
when
rough.
I was just in the garage. It's a rough score. So
that's what impressed me so much. So, Lanny, do you know what the Milo Hansen buck scored? What it netted out?
Non-typical though.
It's typical.
Oh, that one. Okay, yeah. The
217,
the old world record. Yeah,
213 and 5/8.
213 and 5/8.
And then, like a lot of people think that
it was almost perfect too. I think
it was, but a lot of people think the Mitch Rumpala buck. Landon, do you know what it scored?
I know all about the Mitch Rumpala buck.
What it scored?
I don't know what it scored.
Well, you don't know all about it then.
Well, I know all about the story. What? You tell me. What?
216 and 5/8.
Oh,
it was just so wide.
Yeah, well, it was very wide.
Yeah.
So, Tommy, your deer's in that category.
Sure it is.
Yeah, I mean it's once in a lifetime. I mean,
oh my gosh,
it's,
yeah,
crazy. Like
once in 100,
once in a million lifetimes. To be honest with you, millions.
I mean, it's like hitting the lottery. I mean, it's crazy. But I mean, it started 3 years ago. I got pictures of a mainframe 12 coming in. That year I already had like my target buck picked out. So I just wanted to see what this deer would eventually grow up to be. And lo and behold, the next year I got pictures of him again. And I mean, he absolutely just, blew up. He put on, anywhere between 40 to 50 inches. And at this point, he was probably, pushing 190-inch typical. Because, he had one little sticker coming off of his base that year, and that was it. He was just a slick 12-pointer. So that year I was putting everything I had at him. And I was running, 20-plus cameras trying to figure out where he's coming, where his bed was, where he liked to go. And he was just a very tricky buck that you just could not figure out. Like he did not like to come in front of cameras that much. So, me and my buddy Josh, we was moving cameras around, every single weekend trying to figure him out. And he just would avoid everything. So eventually I started, putting the cameras up in the trees, trying to, so he didn't see him because it just felt like he was trying to avoid him at all costs. And, I couldn't get on him that year. And he would leave the property for, a long time. And then here he was like 4 miles down the road. People were seeing him 4 miles down the road chasing does. And it was crazy. So one night my buddy called me and he said, dude, he's like, the deer you're after is like 3 miles down the road. And I'm like, there's no way. Well, that deer went 3 miles in probably, 15 minutes because then I got him on a camera on the property I was hunting 3 miles away. I'm like, man. And it was just crazy. So, that deer he was everywhere. Like at that point, I didn't think he was that old just because of the range he was going. Like he was just going everywhere. And then this year, he kind of changed up that range a little bit and it was a little tighter. So it was like June of this year. Me and my dad was driving down the back road, and I happened to look over, and it was probably 6 o'clock in the afternoon. So it was like pure daylight. I looked over, and this deer picked his head up out of the beans, and it was him. And he was probably pushing, 145, 150 inches already in June. So I was like, man, this is him, because I did not get any trail camera pictures of him over the mineral, nothing that whole year. And he was just, cruising this backfield coming into a soybean field. And that was his path that he took every single night. So during that whole time, me and my buddy Josh, we went out there and started videotaping him. Got a lot of really good footage, which you'll see a lot of the good footage in the hunt because it's all self-filmed. But yeah, he was a very tricky one to hunt for sure.
Man, that's amazing. It's self-filmed.
That is, and you think he could sense the cameras were there?
We talk about that all the time. Sounds like it could.
I think they do, and I think the other thing I noticed you said you swapped them a lot, and I'm a big believer they can smell stuff you have no idea they could smell, and so I'm sure if they went by and got a little scent off of one you just moved, they probably avoided it for a little while too. I don't know. You see, I firmly believe there's just some that have had a bad experience in some way, whether they smelled them enough times and they avoid them. I endeared to show up on us that you would never know. We would never picture of.
A lot of them have a little flashing light on them,
Yeah, maybe.
A little bit.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So at some point this summer, people were parking on the side of the road and watching this deer. So a lot of people knew about it.
Oh, yeah.
I'd have made you a little nervous, huh?
So a lot of people knew about this deer. And, so I would take my electric bike and I'd park it in the corn, and then I would hop up on a tree just, to scout the area. And I just, I would count, I don't know, 40 to 50 cars driving past. Like it was unbelievable. And then like word got out, like that this deer's out there. So then it started getting worse and worse. So then he started switching everything up. Like he didn't feel comfortable being in that field with all the people driving past. So it just, then like the homework really started, and I started to really have to like dig in and, try to figure out where he was going and where he's coming from. So, I mean, like the people really, like there was people 30 miles away saying that they had this deer on their camera.
There's no way.
That's the way it works.
No,
I'm like,
That's deer hunters right there.
True.
I don't think so. So it was crazy. I mean, some of the stuff you would hear, and then like some of the phone calls I'd get, hey, your deer got poached, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, so like at that point, like I started, I called the game warden. I asked them, like, did somebody poach a deer down this area? And they said no. And they were just saying, people's probably playing jokes on you so you just stop hunting it and stuff. Like it was a lot. It was stressful, I'll tell you that.
I bet.
Was there anybody else hunting him like you were? I mean, did you have neighbors or anybody?
So after I killed him and we posted it, there was a few people that like reached out and said, man, congratulations. We were also after that buck, and that's
sportsmanship.
Also,
yeah.
There's some people I don't really know on the backside of the property. Like I never really met them, but they had, from what I heard, is they had a lot of pictures of him too, and just could never get him down.
So is the property?
I'm
sorry.
Go ahead.
Is the property? Is it more bedding or more food related, ag related?
So the property's kind of hard to hunt. So it's a lot of ag fields. So I hunt over a lot of, soybeans, and then it's like a huge valley. So, I mean, you guys know how it is, like hunting valleys, like it's very hard to get in there and out. Like, and then hunting it, you got your thermals and everything.
Yeah, so wind's going to be an issue there.
Yeah, it's very hard. So, like the night, the night I went in to hunt him, everything had to be perfect. Like I wanted to make sure, the wind was perfect and just everything was perfect because, I only had one shot at this deer. Like, and that's how I felt. So, like, I know like once it started getting like darker, like my thermals was going to drop, and I wanted them to drop so they would go around the creek. And that's what happened. So, I mean, everything had to go in like perfect. So
did you just sit once for him, or I mean, did you just wait to the perfect time?
That was my first sit.
Oh my goodness! For real?
Well, when we talk about patience, that's
patience.
Absolutely.
So I had him actually coming in. He was coming in pretty good for like 5 straight days, and the wind was just terrible. And I told the guys in the group, I said, I just, I can't go in to hunt it because I'm not going to blow him out of there. I'm just going to wait until everything's perfect. And that was probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do. I mean, you got that caliber of a deer coming in, and you don't know what's going to happen in the next couple of days. And it like eventually paid off. So yeah, that was the first hunt. I went and hung a stand that morning actually, and got in it at 4:30, and he come in at 5:58.
Oh golly, you didn't have to sit that long. That's pretty good. Were you hunting him in the same spot where you hunted him the year previous?
No, so he kind of changed. So it's kind of a little different valley. So there's like 2 separate valleys there. He was kind of like in the middle one this year, and he would not leave that one. Because I think what was happening is where he was crossing the road, it was really quick for him to get across and come down in that valley and be hidden. And then he could go up around the backside of the valley and get into that bean field that he liked to get into. So
utilizing
it was a chore just to try to find him. I mean, I was running about 21 cameras on him trying to figure him out.
Wow. So I don't want to go into too much personal detail here. Obviously, we don't want you to give your location away, but I mean, was this private land, or were you knocking on doors when he moved to a different area, or What was that situation like?
This is all private land. This is a farm that I've hunted, for the last probably 10 years now.
Okay.
It's just a good piece here in Ohio.
I would say so.
There's a lot of people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that's knocked on this guy's door and asked for permission, and I'm thankful that he told them no, and he gives me the rights to hunt there. So I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
Let us all learn a lesson from his patience. I want to say that a minute ago. Listen to him, that he would wait. I know it was eating you up, but you still did wait. And let's learn from that. And then the other thing is pretty, I used to say around here, because we always had the climbers and stuff, I would always have my best hunt somewhere that I found is if I just went somewhere I hadn't been and scouted, it's before cameras, and find a bunch of fresh sign, climb right there. The first time I'd been in the area always seemed like the best time. See more deer moving, see more chance of a mature deer. And the fact that he would wait to hang his set at the day off to make sure he didn't hang it. I guess you could either hang it like Mark Drury does. He hangs them in like May for October and November.
Yeah.
And then he's out of there, no more scent forever, and they're used to it. But instead of hanging it like a week before and stuff like that, you waited till the day so you didn't mess it up with the scent. I just think that was so smart. We can learn from both of those.
So, Tommy, I'd like to ask, I'm fascinated with trying to understand how you figured this deer out. And cameras had to play a big role, but you said he was avoiding cameras. And so what do you think helped you figure this deer out and know how to be in the right tree that afternoon?
So, that Ohio's, you're allowed baiting in Ohio. And, if you're not baiting in Ohio, you're not going to compete with anybody. That's how there is. And, I've had a lot of negativity saying, I shot it over a corn pile, but you're allowed to do it. So, you might as well. And I think, that helped out a big role in it. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
He started coming into the feed a little bit, but he was very unpredictable. He was always by himself, and he would never come in with any other deer or anything like that. But
interesting.
Feed helped out a little bit. So a little bit in that aspect. And then I found out where he was bedding and then where he was going in the evenings, and I just, cut him off right in that area a little bit. So
see these people? When the clock strikes 5, it's not the end. It's just the beginning. They have to do these things. They have to do those things. Enter the all-new LS Tractor MT2 and MT2E, a relentless force of innovation. Redesigned with a new hood and cab built for comfort and visibility, with enhanced lifting capacity to get the job done. Making these people the ones everyone else calls those people. Visit your local LS Tractor dealer today.
Hey, Lanny.
Hey, Bobby.
Have you ever wondered if your feeder went off or if it's even got corn in it?
Yeah, you sit there at night wondering about it.
Moultrie has solved this. This is some high-tech stuff.
Fits on any feeder that helps monitor the level of feed and lets you know if it went off or not. And you can remotely control it.
Can I look at your feeder if we're on the hub?
I really hope not, but we're going to have to talk to the guys at Moultrie about that. This is the biggest thing in feeders since corn.
That's saying a lot.
With Feed Hub, there's no more stressing, no more guessing. This technology allows you to remotely monitor your feeders.
We always say feed safely, do it the right way.
No doubt about it.
To learn more about it, visit moultrieproducts.com/feedhub. It's a great invention.
Unbelievable technology and products brought to us by our buddies at Moultrie.
When I look at those antlers, I try to think about, could I hold it together?
Bobby, you don't think about anything when you see those
that-
antlers. Yeah.
How in the world, when you saw him coming, how did you keep your composure?
So when I saw him coming, he was coming from, a little bit of a distance. So I just, I put the camera, I turned my camera on record, and I just let him record. And how he come in and he was behind a tree the whole time. So I couldn't even shoot. So I think, I watched him for 11 minutes and 53 seconds before I shot him. So I think, just being able to watch him, and then, watching him in velvet during the early season, that kind of helped me too, like get my nerves, ready for like if I did get a shot at this.
Yeah, it wasn't such a shock to the system. Good gracious.
Yeah, I mean, watching him walk through the woods was unbelievable.
I bet it was.
It was nothing I've ever seen before.
Majestic.
I mean, he looked like, he just looked like just a 300-inch deer, you know.
Oh yeah,
it was
a Hartford elk.
It was crazy.
Yep.
So it seems like the last few years, Ohio there's just been some really giant deer. Come out.
No doubt. Yeah.
Chris Paradise lives around Chagrin Falls, and he talks about
big deer everywhere.
Oh yeah, they do. It's an amazing state. It really is.
So, has something happened in the last few years that's leading to? Is there something change or something good happen?
I have no idea. I mean, I know this year, like, there's probably been 20 or 30 200-inch deer killed in Ohio this year.
Wow.
I mean, there's one that was 266 that was killed, 230s. I mean, there's some big deer being killed for sure. And
that's crazy.
I don't know if it's just people managing a lot better than they used to do.
It's got to be a big part of it.
It's got to be. Yeah,
it could be our podcast.
But,
if we sit here and think about it.
I mean, I assumed that already, of course.
Of course.
Look,
you know,
all those factors probably come into play.
Yeah.
You know, more technology with the cameras, and people knowing that Ohio's a good state and putting in the work and the time. And
they're growing them though. I'm telling you, that's the hardest rule above anything is if he ain't there, you can't kill him.
That's right.
And so they were there. I mean, it's amazing that one state would produce that much.
Now,
for sure.
Does Ohio have a rifle season?
Oh yeah.
No.
I
mean, we got a
Shotgun.
Shotgun. Okay.
season.
But no rifle at all. Wow. I thought for sure.
And how long is that gun season?
A week, and then you got an extended 2-day too.
Yeah. So here in Mississippi,
where else is it that they don't
shoot them?
Illinois doesn't have one.
Yeah. So I think that really protects some of those older bucks.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But I mean, still the individual landowner or club hold, whatever leaseholder, they were making decisions to let deer grow up, and he did. I mean, you tried to kill him the year before and couldn't, but you still saw him at a younger age and made the decision to let him go. Not many people in the world would have let that deer go at whatever he was, 150, 60 inches at the time. You saw the potential and let him walk. That's the story right there to me.
Mm-hmm.
That you had, I talked about patience. Boy, that patience is years worth of patience, not just a season.
No doubt about it.
So, Tommy, tell us about after you released the Era.
That was so at first, like, I thought my shot was a little high. I mean, so I shot him at 41 yards. So when I released it, I thought it was a little high, and then he spun real hard. And as soon as he spun, I seen the blood like just spray out of him.
Oh yeah.
And he only ran 40 yards and then piled up. So I saw him fall over and everything, and it was just like, I don't even know how to explain how excited. I mean, it was just unreal.
Did you jump out of the tree stand, or did you actually climb down?
I thought I was going to fall out there for a minute. I mean, it was definitely a rewarding moment. I will tell you that.
Yeah,
that's an understatement.
That minute you see him coming to you and trying to regain, keep your composure, and him being up behind a tree. If you could bottle that and sell it, Bobby would spend a lot of money on
sure
it.
would. Yeah.
Who was the first person you called?
Great question.
The first person I called was my buddy Josh, because he helped me out tremendously, with this deer. Because there was times where I was going to give up, and just I was going to give up on it. Like, it was driving me crazy, like the amount of people out there. And he was the first one I called, and he was actually hunting that night too, so he didn't answer the first time. So I called him again, and he answered. And I just went nuts, just started screaming. And he's like, "There's no way." And I said, "Dude, I promise I killed him."
And what's his name? Didn't y'all name him? What'd y'all name him?
Zeus.
Zeus.
Oh.
Yeah, that's appropriate.
Is that the god of power?
Yeah,
I think that's the
Ancient
head
Greeks.
That's the head god in Greek mythology.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can imagine that conversation. You know what I'd have said? I got him.
Look, the whole story is
way better than Hercules.
Yeah,
this is somewhere.
This is way better than Hercules. That's for sure.
The story's amazing. The fact that y'all passed him, trying to let him grow up, made that conscious decision.
For 3 years. Sounds like.
Yeah.
Could you age him once you? I mean, have you got an age on him?
So I just sent his. It's called deerage.com. I just sent his teeth in to get them to see how actually old he was. So
Yeah.
I haven't got it back yet, but I'm gonna say he's probably around 6.5. I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like
I had to guess.
Yeah,
but he might be a little older than that.
You've hunted this area for 10 years. Would you say this is a deer that just shows up once every 10 years, or are y'all seeing a deer like that in this county every year?
So in the county, I mean, I think the biggest one killed in the county that we're in was 219. I think it was back in 1980 something. So, I mean, it's not, you don't really see it around the county much, around the county in Ohio that we're in. But I mean, you still see some decent sized deer kill, 170, 180s. So
Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's incredible what they'll grow, though. There.
In that, we heard Bronson talk about it a little bit. It's the 38-degree latitude.
Yep.
Isn't that right?
Yep, it's right there.
It's I think you're right around that area. It's like the perfect available amount of agriculture and ratio of body weight.
Right.
Or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, because they get, that's right. That over time, they've evolved to bigger bone structure to survive the harsher winters. It's going on for, centuries now.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess you push on up in Canada. That used to be the big thing, Canada, but Mother Nature's pretty hard on them that far north,
Right.
and so that 38th parallel is probably
And they have a lot
happy
of agriculture
medium.
there, too.
Lots of ag.
Agriculture there. It's pretty interesting.
Mac, you got a question?
Yeah, it's actually for you, Bobby.
All right.
Do you know who Hercules' dad was?
Oh, this is a great question. I know the answer.
That is too.
You talking about the deer Hercules?
You use your context
In Greek
clues.
Yes.
mythology,
Who is Hercules' father?
just in general.
Yeah,
Hercules is a half breed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. What do they call those?
Was it Thor?
it was Zeus.
Zeus.
Give him the buzz.
So, Bobby.
Come on, Bobby.
Bobby, the question is actually, who's your daddy?
Yeah. but I do have a question, Tommy. How big of a track was this that you had 21 cameras on?
21 acres.
Oh,
So I-
no, it was 420 some acres.
Nice.
That's what it is.
And roughly how much of that was not ag fields?
So not ag fields. I'm going to say 280 to 290 was ag fields, and the rest was probably woods.
Okay.
So 40% plus.
Still a good
one.
amount of
Yeah.
woods
Yeah,
for
no
up there,
doubt
you
about
know?
it.
Yeah. Well, Tommy, we're going to want to come up there this spring, and we'd like to see the mount, but we could maybe turkey hunt while we're there.
of course.
You could twist
He's
our
going to
arm.
always throw it out. Just
Yeah, I actually got the rack, the taxidermy.
Oh,
sent
my
it back to me
goodness.
oh my
To look at.
gosh.
Bobby, don't pass out.
Look at the
how
man.
green
Yeah.
he is.
All right, so
Bobby, someone get some smelling salts for Bobby.
be honest. Have you ever had that? Have you slept with that set of antlers? I would have put it. I would have put it in the
thing
bed.
is locked up in my safe.
Yeah,
It'd
put
be
it
in my
right
bedroom
next
for
to
sure.
me. Right
Yeah,
next to
I
me.
would too.
Has anybody tried to buy it?
No, nobody's tried to buy it. I wouldn't sell it anyways. I
Yeah.
mean, that's
No, you can't sell it.
that's something I worked really hard for.
Yeah, that's sacred,
I mean,
man.
Yeah. Well, I just wondered.
You can't put a price on that.
No, you can't put a
Bobby's an undercover fed, so be careful. You're not supposed to sell. You're not supposed to sell wild game parts, Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby.
Well,
He was just wondering if someone offered so he could go. He was wanting to catch the guy that offered. He wasn't going to bother our guest.
you hear about these big deer being killed, and people want to buy the mounts.
That's
Or-
right.
I've always heard that.
But Bobby loves the mythology and the drama, and there would be a lot of drama involved in
Yeah.
somebody doing that. So
Yeah,
I
it
get
would.
it.
Need to study up on Zeus, though.
Hey, Tommy, so were you the only one that was hunting this deer, like on that property? Or was like a dad or your brother-in-law, or was anybody else
drawing
have
straws
access?
and
Yeah.
everything.
Did anybody else have access to hunt it?
So, No. So on that property, I was the only one hunting that deer. I mean, there's a couple other older guys that come down, but they knew I was after that deer, and they were going to give me full go at it. So I mean, I appreciate them.
That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah, big time.
Yeah.
On the backside of the property, them guys, they had thousands of pictures of this deer also, and just neighboring properties. Because, like I said, I mean, this deer would travel like crazy far. Like, this year he shrunk everything up and kind of made it tight where he felt safe. So, because I didn't put a whole lot of pressure on him. So I think that was a big deal.
Probably
too,
was a
not
big part
pressuring
of
that
it.
deer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, the other thing to think about too, I hate to say that for everybody else around there, but I mean, he lived a little longer because of you, and he left a lot of genetics running through that.
Yeah, I bet he did.
Bottom too. So,
you saying there's a chance?
yeah, I'm saying that the future looks good.
Well,
Yeah.
What makes him, but the genetics
this
of that,
property-
the frame. I mean, there's a lot of big different. That deer has just got these. He's got a ton of mass and all. It has super long beams, but it's just those big giant points.
Yeah, 28.
Yeah, to get to the
Yeah.
get
What'd
to
you
the
say, one of the-
200 club, it's got to have everything.
One of the brow tines is right at a foot. Didn't y'all hear you say?
11, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
So this
That's
one on
crazy.
this side is almost a foot here.
yeah.
This one is.
That looks
And
like
this
it's more.
this G2 here is almost a foot long.
Hmm.
So I mean, he's got it all.
Yes,
sure
he
got it all.
does.
The only thing he did not have was he was only 17 and 2/8 inches wide.
That just goes to show
That's
you
terrible.
that's overrated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to have
No.
you don't have to have the width to have the score at all. I mean,
No,
you
them
just,
long
so
beams and
everything
tines.
just grew up instead of out.
How'd you get into bow hunting? I mean, did you have anybody that you grew up hunting with, or?
So my dad got me into it when I was younger, and just I shot my first buck by myself when I was, I think, 9.
Wow, that's pretty
Wow.
young.
Ever since it
Pretty
was
young
just,
for a bow.
Yeah.
it just took off, and like it's just that's my passion. That's what I love to do, and I love getting my 3 boys into it. It was last year. My middle child Dane, he killed a 169-inch deer.
Oh, wow, with his bow.
Wow, incredible.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah, Richie.
So everybody's like, man, he's like, you let him shoot that. I hate to see what you're going after.
Yeah.
It was this one. So, but no, I love getting my kids into it, and that's the main thing about it is just getting the kids involved and watching them grow into young men and everything. So,
Yeah, that's exactly
Amen.
right.
that's
Hit the horns for that.
that's the good thing for that.
Well, Tommy Allen, you sound like you really got your head screwed on straight. You got your priorities. Those kids, that's really cool.
Kids and big deer.
Very
Can't beat
much
that.
so.
There's a
And
lot
I
of people.
appreciate. I mean, I have to say I personally, but we all appreciate the fact that you kind of chose us as a brand.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that means a lot.
No
and,
doubt about it.
Yeah, I hope that people listen to this and hit not just like the big deer, just the example he said all the way around listening to him. With the way they handle himself up there with the hunting, and although he was after the deer and people respected him enough to give him space and whatever, but then above all else, the way you are with your family.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. That's even bigger than the deer, and we all know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Family's always first.
Does
And
does the deer taste any better? Have you eaten it yet?
No.
yeah, we've ate some burger and some backstraps off of it.
Oh, you have already?
Come
Yeah,
on.
it's
Guys, if we're honest, there's a lot of people that would not have let their 9-year-old son, kill a 169-inch deer. They'd have done it themselves.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people.
A lot of people.
I mean, there's
Bobby,
people in this
Dudley,
room.
Lanny, Toxie,
Yeah.
Richie, Mac. Yeah, I'm looking around the room with a bunch of them that wouldn't have.
Well, we're just impressed with your.
I mean, if I had a 216 in the back pocket,
That's
I'd
true.
think about it.
That's
Yeah, son, you can have this 169.
You shoot the
The
dang
difference
baby.
in him is me. I never let mine shoot one that size. They just went and did it out from under me.
Yeah. They didn't ask permission.
or they
No.
never would have known about it.
No.
So
it was hard. It was it was hard because I mean he put his time into it too. But the year before he actually had that deer in front of him. And,
Oh, wow.
had it in front of him for 15 minutes and could not get a shot, and it I mean, it hit him pretty hard, like, 'cause it walked away, and
I bet it did.
So the next year he just put his time in, and it come in. And I'm like, this deer is a lot bigger than it looks on camera.
Yeah.
For sure. And he did great. I mean, it ran 40 yards after he shot, and he put a great shot on it. So,
Wow.
like, I just like teaching that to my kids,
Yes.
like an ethical shot. Like the year before, it was facing us, and he's asking to shoot, and I said no. I said, you got to wait till he turns broadside, and like, it paid off for him in the end. So, I mean, teaching them to do the right thing is a good deal and everything.
For sure.
Oh, 100%.
Amen.
Well, I just got to say that enjoy cherishing the moment that's even bigger than the deer. You and your friends and your family and everyone, just cherish that time in life with this right now, because it's a special, it's a special creature.
Oh yeah,
something like that is so special.
That was like the night I killed Zeus. So it was me and Josh and my buddy Adam. We had to drag it out of the woods, and it was probably a 600-yard drag. I mean, it was.
Oh my gosh!
It was probably the worst drag I've ever had.
Yeah, but you had the adrenaline pump. Yeah, 280 pounds.
It was pumping until about the last like 200 yards. I'm like, man, it's like I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Yeah.
So we got it. We got it back up to the truck and got it loaded up, and we're heading back to. And I stopped at the guy's house that let me hunt, and I had to thank them and let them see it, and gave them a hug and told them I appreciate everything that they do. And so we headed back to my house, and I pulled in my driveway, and there is probably 40 people here.
Oh wow!
Just waiting.
The word got out.
To congratulate me and everything, and that's what it's all about. Like, it was awesome to have family and friends here, and that was a really cool part, to be able to do that with everybody.
Did you take some pictures of him in the back of the truck? Laying in the back of the truck.
Yeah, we got.
Send us one of those. I want to see one, because the coolest picture of a big deer is like if he's pulled up in the truck and his butt is towards the cab, and his antlers, and you kind of take it from above and a little behind the antlers. They look twice as big.
Yeah,
I bet he looked like looked like a Hartford elk in the back of the truck.
I'd still be riding him around if it was mine.
Oh, yeah.
Look at him.
I want to see that. I want to see that pickup picture.
So, Tommy, I got two quick questions. Is there a way we can help you share this footage, or what do you have planned for it?
We got our own little group. It's called Buckeye Boys Outdoors. We've been doing it for like the last 6-7 years, just where we film our hunts, and Josh is he's like the president, and then Zach Eubanks, he's kind of the vice president a little bit, and Josh does all of our editing, which he does a really good job, and we post everything up on YouTube and to let everybody see the hard work, that we stick into everything. So
what we can do is get with Bobby, and when you get that teed up and it's going to be showed, we can make sure we send all our people to go watch it there for you.
Yeah, we'll help out.
That's the least we can do, is point them to it.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah, and then Tommy,
I appreciate it.
The other question I have is, when you're looking at all these photographs over the last say 6 weeks, what did you think he would score?
That's a good question.
Good question.
So when we started, really looking at him in velvet, my score that I come up with was 223. That's what I thought he would go, and I was, off a little bit.
Not much.
But, so there's a tine, like this tine right here, we wasn't sure, because we don't know if this is like a 2 or a kicker. So that's why I want to take it up to Toby and let him, because we did not take this mass measurement. We took it here instead of here. So this is another, 7 inches probably here instead of this one.
Interesting.
So we're not real sure on that. So we kind of, didn't give him much on the score.
So you were conservative. So. That 7 inches would put him right at 223.
Mm-hmm. The Furminator is the industry's most versatile piece of food plot equipment, allowing plotters to do every step of the process, working the soil, adding seed and soil supplements, and compacting, from start to finish with a single implement. It's hassle-free by design. Set it for the seed size and simply drive the tractor, and the Furminator does the rest. Check it out at thefurminator.com.
Nosler is known for their bullets, and now they're making suppressors. Nosler suppressors are made for hunting. Adding a Nosler suppressor to your rifle will make you a quieter, more accurate, and more effective hunter. Protect your hearing and disturb less game with a Nosler suppressor. The time to hunt quiet is now. Learn more at nosler.com.
Well, I tell you what, it's very impressive. It's real impressive how you're handling your life. And gosh, I don't know 40 people that would show up if I killed a
come
big
on,
deer.
Bobby.
I mean,
I'd be there for you, buddy.
well, where are you? Where if 3 weeks ago, where were you?
I was waiting right here at the office with it on the trailer.
I got back to my house at 1:00 in the morning and nobody was there.
Well,
my wife didn't. She said, "Just tell me
asleep
about it in the morning." Tommy, this has been fun. But before we let you leave, Tommy, I want to show you just the kind of guys how hardcore hunters we are here in this building, and just hold tight with me. Lanny, I'm looking at you.
Oh no.
The World Series just played this past week.
Of
Can
what?
you tell me one team that was in the
World Series
the World's
of what?
Baseball.
Baseball.
You're talking to a guy who wanted to know if a quarterback was on offense or defense.
Yeah. My point's made.
Wait. I'm going to guess.
Does Logan Cook play on that team?
Who's Logan Cook play for? Jaguars. Are the Jaguars in there?
Oh,
No.
Richie, why don't you wake up, Richie? Why
I
don't
Hold on,
thought
Bob.
the Jaguars were football.
Bobby, he asked
They
were
are.
the Jaguars in the World Series.
No, they were not in the World Series.
Okay.
No.
Yes,
Oh, Logan Cook plays football,
Well,
doesn't he?
that's right.
Yeah.
Dadgummit Dudley.
Who was in the World Series?
There you are. He is.
Yeah, there we go.
The Yank.
41.
The Yankees?
Yep. They
Oh,
won
really?
Won it in 4 games. No, the Yankees lost it in 4 games.
Who'd they play?
The
Dodgers.
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 Tommy,
Is that
what do
the
you do for
LA?
a living?
I'm a heavy equipment operator.
Hey, man.
Oh,
all right.
hit the horns.
Same blood right
We
there.
all, we
sir.
all wish we could. I operate a lot of heavy equipment.
Bobby just said,
Bobby's
Bobby wants your job when he grows up someday.
Yeah, you know, that's hard. That's kind of complicated running all those, keeping all that going. in your
Careful.
mind.
Hey,
Hey,
nothing like
That
it.
man, that's a good
I
tool
I-
when you're knocking on doors.
That's
I
right.
can tell you that.
I resemble that remark.
You need your driveway touched up. I can include that.
That's right.
My favorite. What's your favorite land? As far as going, I know working's one thing, but as far as land management too, would be your first pick if you just had one.
One piece of equipment?
Yeah, I'm asking him though.
One piece of equipment would just probably, just be a tractor. So
Oh yeah, well, I'm thinking beyond a tractor, heavy equipment.
Well, if you got one of those,
Would you?
gotta have
I'd
the
say
other.
this: would you pick a dozer or a trackhoe? Which one?
You got to have both.
No, but if you can only have one, Lanny,
I'd probably pick a track hoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do a lot more.
you can. It is more. It is more versatile.
with a blade on the front.
Yeah, with a
like
blade
six-way
on the
blade
front.
so.
Okay, yeah.
A do-all.
Yeah, I'm tracking with him there.
Yep.
All right, guys, it's been really interesting.
It's great. Congratulations.
That's so
Well
good. I mean,
done.
hey,
I appreciate
good
it.
things do happen to good people.
That's
yeah.
right.
Thank you for wearing mossy
Big
oak.
time.
We
Yeah.
Yes, sir. It means the world to us.
Yeah,
No
thank
doubt
you.
about it.
Yeah, and I heard through the grapevine you listen to our podcast.
Oh, wow. Look at there.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm just telling you.
We got
this
two
guy,
people
he
now.
is our kind of guy. I need to go hunting.
Just
with
watch
him.
him. He is backdooring you with
So look,
turkeys.
he's going to try to go deer hunting, too. Don't let him lie.
We gotta have, we gotta have buddies like this because we can't seem to kill one ourselves.
That's
so.
right.
Mac, you got anything else to add?
No, I just think it's really cool, and it's cool to get your kids out there. I mean,
Yeah.
we all know how that is
Yeah.
around
Yes.
here, so
Yes.
that's really neat.
Tell your boys we said hello.
Yes,
What's
please.
their names?
I will.
What's your boys'
I
names?
got Dane, Jensen, and Briley.
And their
Nice.
ages?
7, 9, and 11.
Oh,
Wow,
my
good for
goodness.
you.
Look at you.
I just
Yeah.
I had twin boys, and I almost hate to tell you how stupid you're gonna get in about 5 or 6 years. But just get ready for it. Doesn't mean you won't be best friends
it's-
still. But boy, we butted heads so
It's-
hard through there, and then all of a sudden, miraculously, a few years later, man, I had all my smarts back again.
Yeah,
Just-
it's funny
I
how
don't know
that
what happened
happens.
to me.
I don't know.
That works.
It's already starting to hit now because I coach him in sports, and it's like me and Dane are always constantly butting heads like bad. So
Yep.
it's a good time though. I wouldn't change
Oh,
it.
it's the
No,
best.
no,
I promise
can't
you. That
change
right
it.
there is
That's
the
right.
best times y'all ever have. So soak it up.
Yep.
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 All right, Tommy. Look, we'll have your Facebook page or your Instagram, or how folks can get in touch with you in the show notes, and as soon as that video's ready, we'll try to
absolutely.
time this up.
No
So
doubt
Be
about
proud
it.
of it.
I'll stay in touch with you. So, all right, guys.
Okay.
Looking
Alrighty.
looking around the room, why don't you say goodbye, Dudley?
Goodbye, Dudley.
Get us out of here, Richie.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the Gamekeeper Podcast. And be sure to tune in again. Subscribe to Gamekeeper Farming for Wildlife magazine, and don't miss the Mossy Oak Properties Fistful of Dirt podcast with my good buddy, Ronnie Cuz Strickland.